so apparently Kyrie Irving is requesting a trade out of Cleveland because he doesn't want to play with LeBron and wants to be the centerpiece on a preferably good team. And then the Knicks, I'm looking at Twitter and I just see this thing blow up about, hey, Kyrie Irving requested a trade, and the more I read into it, the more belief I had for that trade, because the first time I saw it, I was like, well, you know, they're probably resolving it, you know, I don't know, like, how true this is, but then you start hearing it from every single angle, and reports from all different types of sources, and now the whole world knows that Kyrie Irving doesn't want to be in Cleveland, and most likely he will not be in Cleveland, and it's the type of thing that I should be excited for, because if you know me, I love changing the NBA atmosphere. Kyrie Irving's a great player on a great team, and he's a guy that's probably not going to be in Cleveland next year, which is huge, because I hate the dominance in each conference by Cavs and Warriors, as we know. So if Kyrie leaves Cleveland, then maybe another East team can, you know, take the throne in the East for once, right? That will make things in the East more interesting. It doesn't make things in the West any more interesting. I mean, it might if Kyrie goes to the Spurs, which is an option, but still, you expect the Warriors to come out of the West. And to me, it's like, look, you just add more players to the West so that, you know, we could have a worse Eastern Conference. And in the end, whoever gets to the finals and plays Golden State is going to lose anyway. So, you know, what's the point? Well, there's reasons for me to be happy and sad about this, but it's not about me. I mean, I just want to cover this story. I just want to let you guys know what probably is going to happen with this. Kyrie Irving, like I said, he doesn't want to be in Cleveland. That doesn't mean there's a 100% chance he gets traded. I heard someone mention on Twitter, you know, Kobe did the same thing in 2007, and, you know, look what happened. I mean, he was there for another decade. Kyrie Irving might get over this, and the Cavs might be able to figure something out with him. You know, maybe he wants a bigger load of the offense. I don't know what it is, but he obviously wants to be an alpha dog, and if you're on LeBron James's team, that's not something that's going to happen, because the best player in the world's on your team. You're not going to be the alpha dog. And I don't know if I like Kyrie Irving coming out and saying that he wants to be the number one guy if he's so limited for a number one guy. For most teams, they want their number one guy to be a wing player that can do it all. That's pretty much the prototype for, you know, number one guy, alpha dog on a championship team. You want a guy that can guard multiple positions, that can handle the ball, shoot the ball, make plays, and defend. A guy that's versatile in most areas. You know, if you're wondering who I'm talking about, obviously there's LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, etc. Wing players are good for this, and if you want to win, you want a franchise player that, and Giannis is another example, because Giannis is going to be a guy on a team where he can do it all, and they'll try to get players around him where he can lead his team to the NBA Finals. Kyrie Irving comes up short in a lot of these areas, because not only is he a point guard, a guy that can't guard multiple positions, a guy that he's not a threat as a defender is what I'm saying. He's not really a playmaker. He's a specialist player for the most part. As great of a scorer as he is, and he is phenomenal. He's one of the best scorers in the game, and I think he's the best scoring point guard in the NBA. And he's probably a top 3 just pound for pound scorer in the league. In my opinion, Kyrie Irving is one of the most fearless attackers, a guy that can kill you in any area on the floor with the ball in his hands. However, as good of a scorer as he might be, it doesn't change the fact that he's just not versatile enough. He's just not well-rounded enough, and, you know, doesn't check enough boxes to be the number one alpha dog on a championship team. Teams aren't looking for Kyrie Irving to lead them to the promised land. Now, he can help a team win a championship. He can be the scorer that teams need, but I'm confused because I see the headline of, you know, Kyrie wants to be the number one guy, maybe number one scorer. I mean, he was basically doing that, but I guess he wants to run a team. Maybe, I don't know, because, yeah, there's options that work for this, but it's like, I hear Kyrie wants to go to the Spurs. Well, it's not going to be any different on the Spurs. Kawhi Leonard is still going to be the number one guy. He's still going to be the primary ball handler and scorer. At least he's going to have the offense run through him. maybe we can come to terms on like some equal thing, but we all know whose team the San Antonio Spurs are and will be regardless of Kyrie being there or not. So, the fact that I see the Spurs are a destination he wants to be in, I'm not sure if this is the real reason. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Plus, I don't really see why anybody wouldn't want to play with LeBron. People love playing with LeBron because it makes them better. If Kyrie leaves Cleveland, there's a lot of places he could go where I don't think he'd just have as big of an impact on winning, and just being a great player, because LeBron James makes his teammates so much better. I know Kyrie's very capable. I know that he's going to be a star wherever he goes, but still, I don't know if the impact on the game he has is going to be as, spotlighted. It's there. Everybody sees it. I don't know if it's going to be like that. So that's also very interesting to me. Kyrie doesn't want to be there. Reportedly, it's because of LeBron. He's probably going to leave. And like I said in the beginning, I don't know if I should get my hopes up, because yes, I'd love to see this trade happen wherever he goes. I don't want him to be in Cleveland just from hearing this, because I love seeing things shook up, especially with contending teams. It's way more interesting, and it makes for a much more exciting season. So Kyrie, I would love to see him traded, but we're not for sure on that. So I can't get my hopes all the way up, but I'd say it's likely. I mean, if you hear about something like this, he doesn't want to play with LeBron. He's made his thoughts clear, perfectly clear, enough for us to know, look, this guy wants to be somewhere else. Very, very interesting stuff. So definitely, this is the biggest situation in the NBA right now, for sure. So I'm going to talk about the teams that he could go to in a second. But I also found it very interesting because I made a video about Derrick Rose a few days ago. And soon after I made that video, the Lakers and the Cavs appear as front runners for Derrick Rose in terms of signing him. And he's probably going to sign with one of them this weekend. It makes the Derrick Rose situation a lot more interesting if Kyrie Irving's on the way out. Because the Cavs could hop in, sign D Rose. But what happens? Because everyone's talking about the bigger picture with this Kyrie thing. LeBron's gonna leave is just a huge headline. I mean, why would LeBron stay? I know that we talk about this loyalty thing in sports, and I really, really respect that. But man, I mean, if he's already talking about how he doesn't like this offseason's going, and yeah, I mean, the offseason for the Cavs has been awful before this, okay? It's not like it just got bad now. I mean, this is like the last straw, if anything. If Kyrie's out of here, first of all, what is the return package for Kyrie Irving? Who would the Cavs be looking for? What type of players are they looking for to get back? Are they assuming LeBron's staying? Or are they assuming LeBron's leaving and they want to do a full rebuild? Man, if LeBron leaves, it's really over. But LeBron could stay and they could still be a great team. But you get to the point where it's like, well, would that Cavs team be better than any other team with LeBron on it? If you got rid of Kyrie Irving and got some guys back, couldn't LeBron just go to another team that's better and be better, right? So, to me, it's like, look, this definitely has a lot more to do with LeBron than Derrick Rose, like I was saying. But Derrick Rose, we could see him multiple places. I don't think it really matters, honestly. If Derrick Rose goes to the Cavs, I'm not really a believer in Derrick Rose's positive impact on a game. So if he goes to Cleveland and plays with LeBron, I'm not thinking, okay, LeBron's going to stay because Derrick Rose is there. He's probably out, okay? So for Derrick Rose, it's like, then at that point, it's like, why would Cleveland want Derrick Rose anyway if LeBron was going to leave and Kyrie's going to, what's the point of getting Derrick Rose for that team? There's no reason to do that. Anyway, let's talk about, because I did cover LeBron a little bit. LeBron, there are targets, the Lakers, the Sixers are ideas, and then there's so many other teams. I could make a separate video on LeBron and where he's going to go, and I probably will. Just hold tight. Let's talk about Kyrie and Kyrie's targets. So he did detail the places he wants to go: San Antonio, Miami, Minnesota, and New York. And of course, he requested a trade to the Chicago Bulls weeks ago before Jimmy Butler was traded because he wants to play with Jimmy Butler. So that's why Minnesota's on there. Kyrie wants to play with Jimmy Butler. So now he wants to go to Minnesota. And Minnesota's looking nice. Like I've been talking about, they're looking really nice. So you look at the teams that he wants to play on: San Antonio, Minnesota, New York, and Miami. San Antonio, I already talked about it. Doesn't make any sense if you're going to use the I don't want to play with LeBron excuse. You're going to play with Kawhi. What do you think? Why Kawhi instead of LeBron? I mean, that's really what the question is here. Yeah, Kawhi is younger. He's a better shooter. He's a better defender. But honestly, I think LeBron, we all know LeBron's a better player than Kawhi. And LeBron is probably more willing to let Kyrie do a lot during the games. Maybe Kyrie thinks there'll be more spotlight on him with Kawhi because Kawhi's like a quiet guy that doesn't take up the spotlight. Maybe he just wants a spotlight. So, I don't know. If that's what it is, then maybe it makes some sense. Whatever. Still, that would make the Spurs so scary if they added Kyrie Irving, because we all know that the point guard position is definitely the position of need for them right now. And, man, the things they could do with Kyrie Irving, the Spurs management's very good. So, hey, I mean, I say they're the best management in the league. So, look, if they put together a deal for Kyrie Irving, you know they're getting the better end of that deal. Because if you're getting Kyrie Irving, receiving Kyrie Irving in a trade, if you're the Spurs, you're definitely winning it. That's for sure. If he wants to be out of there, like, there's less pressure on putting together a good package in return, because everybody's trying to get him now. You gotta be as slick as possible, you know what I'm saying? How about the Miami Heat? This one was the most interesting to me because the Heat, I think, are one of those teams that it's like everybody should be trying to go to the Heat. Because the Heat basically need one or two more pieces to be a championship team, and they've got so many good pieces already. And young players. This team looks really nice for the future. The thing is here, they already have Dion Waiters. A Kyrie Irving, Dion Waiters backcourt is what we had before. And those guys don't like each other, and they won't play together well, because they are basically the same player, except Kyrie's a lot better. They like to shoot a lot of shots. Basically, that's it. I mean, Kyrie's a better scorer than Dion Waiters, but they're both scorers anyway. They're not going to give you a ton of defense or playmaking. There's no point in putting these two guys together, I don't think. Goran Dragic and Dion Waiters are a fine duo. There's no point in adding Kyrie Irving, because if you're going to trade him, maybe you trade him for Dion Waiters. Maybe that's what you do. I don't know. They trade him for Dion and Goran Dragic. Like, I know that wouldn't be a trade. Like, you wouldn't actually do that. But, like, it doesn't make any sense to pair those two guys, if you ask me. Kyrie's not the type of player the Heat need, although the Heat, they could use a few more players, and it's a really good spot, I think, for a lot of players to want to go to Miami. I understand it. I just don't think Kyrie fits there. Now, Minnesota Timberwolves are interesting also because they signed Jeff Teague already, but Jimmy Butler and Kyrie Irving played together on Team USA. They're really good friends. And Minnesota is gearing up, and if they get Kyrie Irving, they send Jeff Teague and somebody else. Maybe they send Jeff Teague and Andrew Wiggins and someone else. I don't know. I mean, like, they'd have to send Jeff Teague and Wiggins, most likely, because he's the young guy. And you probably have to send someone from your bench, like another young player. Honestly, because the Cavs are going to be asking for a lot for that guy, Kyrie. He's still young. He's 25 years old. But if the Minnesota Timberwolves were able to land him, they win the trade, they automatically become better, and this team is scary. I mean, anybody that gets this guy, it's going to be in the West. Like, if it's a West team, it's going to be the Spurs or the Timberwolves. I mean, I'm hearing the Suns, maybe. Like, that's still a possibility. The Suns, even though he doesn't really want to go there, I don't really think it matters what he wants. He doesn't have a no-trade clause, so, and he requested the trade. They can trade him wherever they want to trade him. So he might end up in Phoenix. But he wants San Antonio, Minnesota. We don't know about, what they want. But Kyrie wants to go there, and that should have some impact on the deal. Then there's the Knicks. The Knicks are the funniest one to me. They have Porzingis, so that's one thing, but come on. You don't want to play for the Knicks. You don't want to. I mean, the only reason I could see is because they have Porzingis and because it's New York. But do you really want to play for the Knicks? Do you really want to play for the Knicks? We're just not going to. It could happen. It's probably not going to happen. I don't know. They'd have to get Porzingis in exchange, so what's the point? Like, what? Anyway, we're not going to talk about the Knicks. We're just not. So, yeah, this is crazy. And there's a very good chance he doesn't even go to one of the teams I talked about, right? Like, it could be any team that the Cavs can get a deal with. Because, like I said, it's not Kyrie. It's not up to Kyrie where he goes. But most likely it's probably going to be San Antonio, Minnesota. Those are the two teams I would be least surprised to see Kyrie go to. That's going to do it for this video. Some teams that get scary with this trade. Things are going to change. The NBA atmosphere and the setup is going to look a little bit different by the end of this week, most likely. Man, free agency is still thrilling. And it's not even really free agency anymore, but trade season, off season, whatever, it's thrilling. It really is. That's going to do it. I'm out. Thanks for watching. A little longer video today, but had a lot of stuff to cover here. Very interesting topic, and more excitement for the NBA. Like if you enjoy, comment what you think about this. what's going on in Cleveland, where do you think he's going, and what changes from this? What's the cause and effect here, right? Subscribe if you're new. I'm out. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.